Okay, so after an insane Game 4 of Mavs Clippers, we get a Game 5 that was something, as the Clippers now go to a Game 6 in Dallas down 3-2. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about Cavs Magic a bit, a little thing on Pacers book, shout out to the Bucks. Also, Celtics beat the Heat. Anyway, I think you got to start with just the Clippers offense in this game, and I mean, you point right to PG and Harden and how those guys were not as great as they, compared to the last game especially. I do think you saw Kyrie pressuring Harden on a lot of possessions. I mean, PJ had him for some too, I remember that, but, Kyrie, it felt like, especially like in the second half there at the beginning when this game really became over, Kyrie's just picking up Harden early on these possessions, and he's, swiping at him, picking up some fouls, but, he got around a screen really well. That was a Harden, I think it was Zoo or it was a Plumlee screen, and he like steals it from behind as Lively was just doing like typical drop. And Kyrie's diving on the floor as well. Like, Kyrie, his just possession to possession defense, I think, was like setting the tone for Dallas. And then after that, we did see Derrick Jones Jr., I think, do a really good job of fighting around like stagger screens where PG was trying to get open. He did have that one possession where Paul George was trying to cook him in a 1v1. He drives on him. PG gets like a little bit of an angle on Derrick Jones, but for the most part, Derrick Jones held up well, and then it was Lively waiting for him at the rim, and Luka was helping pretty hard off of Terrence Mann, and so PG at like kind of the last second makes this desperate pass attempt to Terrence Mann, which was a little off balance, and that's the phrase I would use. The Clippers' offense looked off balance all night, and now let's talk about how Dallas was playing off of Russ. It felt like it was Kleba a lot of the time playing off of Russ. It did feel like we also saw more of those double big lineups in this one, Kleba and Gafford, Kleba and Lively, either one really. But yeah, I think the most recent one was Kleba sagging off of Russ when Russ had the ball, and so Russ drove right at him and he missed a layup. Like, you had some plays where the paint was super clogged, where like Harden would take a floater, which like, yeah, I know he killed him with the floaters at the tail end of the last game, and we were all doing the whole like, why not two bigs? Well, in this one, the floater was happening like, 2 feet farther back from what it was happening in the last game, and he wasn't as comfortable. And one of those was off of Kleba, just, again, playing off of Russ. So you had another play where I think it was like a Plumlee Harden screen where Gafford was dropping back on the screen, and then Kleba was also in the paint, and so Plumlee got the ball, and he basically had nothing to do with it, so he threw it to Russ, who missed a three, and it was just a really not good feeling possession for the Clippers, where it's like, yeah, they're daring you to do that, you did it, and they feel great about it. So yeah, I thought Kyrie and Derrick Jones Jr. did a good job in their matchups. I mean, everybody did a good job. There was one play where like Paul George was trying to go at Luka and Derrick Jones, like they switch the initial screen, but then they double PG and it becomes a Terrence Mann 3 that's just kind of blah. One specific play where there's legit 4 Mavs in the paint on a Harden drive, where it is Kleba, Lively, Luka, and Kyrie behind Harden, and Powell is like actually open in the corner, but there's so many arms around Harden that he either can't see him or there's just no shot he's actually going to get him the ball. And then on the other end, we had Luka being Luka. I mean, don't get me wrong, like Kleba making, 4 corner threes. One of them was started by them putting 2 to the ball on Luka, and it was a good play by Lively in the middle of the floor to get the swing offense moving. Eventually, it's Kleba making a 3. Another time it was off of an inbound where, unfortunately, I think TNT didn't get back to the play fast enough, like out of the commercial or whatever. But I remember seeing, I want to say it was Harden, like kind of hard rotating to Luka, like the second the possession began, and it was kind of like a, we have to get into position, what are we doing, sort of rotation, if you will. And then Kleba's just open in the corner, and then Zoo is clearly frustrated, like kind of looking around with his arms up, like, what the hell was that, guys? And that's not me saying that like that's Harden's fault. It's just like clearly there was a miscommunication somewhere. But yeah, back to Luka. I mean, how many step back 2s did Luka make in this game? It felt like whether it was going to be Zoo dropping, which was going to lead to like a Gafford lob or a Lively lob, or we did see him making the step backs a little bit more here, or like I mentioned, step back 2s or turnarounds over Terrence Mann. I felt like he was a little more comfortable dealing with Terrence Mann's 1v1 defense. I mean, Terrence Mann's effort's always going to be good. It just felt like pretty much everything went wrong for the Clippers tonight. I mean, hell, even in their efforts to have Russ taking advantage of the fact that the Mavs were not guarding him, there was a play where Russ cut, which is what the idea is. They're not going to guard me, I'm going to cut. And that was after like a screen action, and Kleba, not guarding Russ, planting himself in the paint, which then forces a pass to Russ on the cut, and then Lively rotated back from the initial screen action on PG to then block Russ. It's just like, yeah, man, it's just not going to happen for you guys tonight. So yeah, I don't know. Jaden Hardy, 14 points in 6 minutes. Am I reading that right? Okay. All right, let's talk a little bit about the Cavs and the Magic now. So listen, I know Mobley had the insane block at the end. He also had a really good defensive play like a minute before that. Or maybe it wasn't a minute, but he had a great 1v1 possession on Paolo where he's just getting a great contest on basically just a straight line drive from Paolo. Now, Paolo in the game overall was great, and I like the fact that we just kind of saw a mix of things, whether it's like him getting a screen from Gary Harris, or him screening for Franz, or him, Franz, and Jalen Suggs in a horns action where eventually Franz screens for Paulo. He's flowing into a pull-up too. Just some ISOs on Isaac Okoro where he's backing him down, getting into a turnaround two, or an ISO where it's a pull-up fading two. A cool variety of things, but of course the Cavs won, and Marcus Morris, who had that on their bingo card? 2 threes, but it really was a rock fight. Like, that game was the epitome of what you would imagine the best version of a Cavs Magic playoff game is, right? I mean, you got Jonathan Isaac picking up Darius Garland early on a play, and then he runs a screen action, and now it's Wendell switching onto him. It's size and switching and the whole thing everywhere. And then eventually, speaking of Garland, you got a better Garland game. You're happy for that if you're Cleveland. Max Strus makes 1-3 when they run like a double screen action with Mitchell, and I think it was Mobley where Franz is closing out like crazy. It's just, that's the type of game where, like, it feels like it's basically a toss-up where you run that same game back and you probably get 10 different results. But it was a good time. Weirdly enough, as I tried to watch the replay, the NBA app was putting the game in 144p for me, so that was fun, but we eventually we got there. Anyway, as for Bucks-Pacers, as the Pacers had a great opportunity without Dame and Giannis, listen, Chris Middleton, that guy's great. I'm happy to see him. I'm happy that he's able to put in 40 minutes in these playoff games, and with the way he's playing, man, yeah, I'm still scared of the Bucks. I also do want Dame and Giannis to be healthy, because that's been my thing with this team the whole time. Between, Doc shows up, and yeah, the perimeter defense gets better, but also then, quotes and whatever the hell else. If you just have Dame, Giannis, Middleton healthy, Brook, I'm still going to be scared of that team. So hopefully we can see Dame and Giannis.